2, 1. We're on air.
So, welcome back to the Dreary show.
You will get it right. You will get it right one day, Brendan.
I already did. I did the first episode.
You will get it right again. You will return to your former prowess.
I know. I'm hitting this low on my career, which brings me to people who hit low in their career. TV shows.
Yeah.
I've been noticing that people have stopped. Like they're starting to just. I don't know. People are like, who needs TV?
He literally turned his head in multiple directions there every time he said for everyone who's wondering. We'll eventually make like a premium cast where you get to see Brendan's face.
You get me to see me with a hipster mustache, but I don't have a hipster mustache, I'm sorry. But this time we're going to talk about television shows.
Yeah, we had previously mentioned some Canadian television, some Canadian programming, and hopefully you guys have checked that out. Unless, of course, our release schedule has made this video come out immediately after the last one, which in that case I can hardly expect you to have watched all of Corner Gas. Especially
you
with
should watch all of Corner Gas, by the way.
Yeah, especially with your busy lives. But yeah, we were talking about Canadian shows, and figured maybe we'd talk a bit more about that. But additionally, maybe some shows from our childhood that kind of affected us, and maybe some other things relating to that, just some good shows that are out there. Note, we probably will mention Breaking Bad at some point.
Breaking Bad is a great show.
We know that it is godly, but it is so godly that we don't need to really talk about it. Everyone knows what it is and how good it is.
I should also point out, I haven't watched Game of Thrones, aka softcore porn. I haven't watched...
Hey, I am a softcore porn fan, my friend, and by that I mean Game of Thrones.
You do watch it? I didn't know
Game of Thrones, yes.
I haven't watched... I should just point out things I haven't watched to upset people and lose all our subscribers. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings. I haven't watched I watched a little bit of Walking Dead, but... Yeah. I haven't watched any of the Hobbits. Basically, anything people have been saying that are good, I haven't watched. I haven't seen Avatar, but...
Interestingly enough, yeah, we do spend a lot of time playing D&D, and he has not watched any of the Lord of the Rings. Read them either.
I constantly am telling people I'm not a massive, fantasy fan. I've never been able to get behind it. I honestly would prefer games like Fallout over Skyrim, but I play D&D because I don't know. I'm not sure what it is about D&D that I enjoy.
Yep. So rest assured, we'll get around to role playing at some point.
Yeah, that's a good point. If we haven't uploaded anything, D&D, we're sorry.
Again, release schedule is hectic.
We do it when we can.
But if this comes out actually after one of our role-playing game videos, hey guys, wasn't that cool? Yeah, we totally did it.
Yeah.
That's what you know this channel for.
Yes. And so those are things I haven't watched. So if you start talking to me, I'll be like, yeah, Lord of the Rings. I know Legolas. Which I do know. I do know something.
Yeah. Everyone.
I also haven't seen The Matrix, but that's besides the point.
Like that one specific player that you guys will probably meet, who named his elf Legolas. Just by mentioning that, I'm pretty sure that we are going to have Peter Jackson is going to come here, and he is going to beat our asses with a belt or something similar. He is going to come in here with the sword of Orlando Bloom and kill us.
Okay.
Which would be difficult.
You know what? If you want to watch a great YouTube poop series, look up Peter Jinkson's The Hobbit. You have to find, during this series, just use your Batman knowledge to navigate which one's first. That's all I can say. But anyways, I'm going to start with Canadian TV. There's Canadian TV is weird. Because you don't see it a whole lot, because 20% usually means the news.
Yes, it generally does.
And then when you see Canadian shows, they're not always very good.
Looking at you, actually, I don't know if I want to... I don't know if yeah, okay, so I will pick a fight. Not really. Okay, so these great comedians, these great Canadian comedians, independently I saw them and they were pretty good. But, when they came together and made Pizza Face. My God, I think that's what it was called. No, Picnic Face. Picnic Face. That was what it's called. I was thinking of like that weird phrase that you use for people who have. But if you've ever seen the show Picnic Face, you know what I'm talking about. That show is disgustingly bad, and I hate it. And it wasted the talents of the people that worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
May it burn forever in hell. So that's probably the main example of horrible Canadian television I can think of.
Because I'm not sure what's Canadian right now and what's not. I can't really think of any like non-animated cartoon shows that are like I just don't like them. So if they're Canadian, I don't care. They're still really bad in my opinion.
Only Murdoch Mysteries exist. It's a decent live action show from what I've heard.
It's not a children's show though. That's why it's good.
Oh yeah, but still, yeah. Oh yeah, if you're talking like children's show, then
children's shows are the
for
ones
one. Canada doesn't really have any of those. Though there were some decent.
Except Teletoon. Teletoon, anything that's a Teletoon original is Canadian.
Yeah, that's true. But generally, I don't pay much attention to that stuff anymore. But that's not to say I don't believe there haven't been some admirable Canadian pieces of animation that have come out.
Certainly has.
Yvonne of the Yukon. You ever seen that show?
No.
Oh. Really good show, Canadian. But long story short, this French dude named Yvon gets kicked his ass out of France by King Louis and ends up unfrozen in the Yukon in kind of modern day, and pretty good show, Canadian show as well.
When you said got kicked out of France, I was thinking I want you to find a show and make it say that it's pretty much the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air of Canada. And then you said kicked out, like, it's like the Fresh Prince, I'm going to say that's like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then you said, and then he thaws out in modern times, and like, oh.
Yeah, so that was a bit interesting of a show, especially since that was the first time a French protagonist was not some snooty dick. He was actually like it was an incredibly weird show. Incredibly weird, but really nice, and it does bring attention to life in one of the less habited and most ignored parts of Canada, which happens to be the Yukon.
Yukon Northwest Territories in Nunavut.
Yeah. What you need to know is just
those are our northern provinces.
Horribly neglected northern province. Like, they're not even provinces, they're territories.
That's true.
They're territories, they're not even allowed to be provinces. It's like Puerto Rico, except the Puerto Rico of Canada.
Nunavut's different. They wanted to be a territory.
I think
Nunavut became a territory in 2000 something.
Yeah, it was just land that was basically, kind of handed over to the native population, but it's like it's kind of a jerk move because it's just like, oh, let's give them Nunavut and then we're not going to support them at all. So it's just weird up there. Again, very heavily ignored place, got a lot of problems. Puerto Rico of Canada, and the reason why I say that is why is Puerto Rico not a state yet? It should be a state. Everyone knows that.
A bit of a tangent from Canadian and kids.
Anyways, childhood. Yeah, just to go on, the name is Yvonne of the Yukon. Check it out. I'm flicking a pen right now.
The thing is, you probably can hear that. The thing is with me, my childhood was mostly comprised of American TV shows because I had satellite, and so I got to watch a whole lot of Cartoon Network, so I'm familiar with a lot of things like that. So as a kid, I never got a whole lot of exposure to Canada, being Canadian. That's very weird.
Oh, but it's common. It's very common. It is. Like, even in Europe, they have children's shows they can fall back on, but not as much as... At some point in my life, I remember there was an animated show called Being Ian. That was Canadian, I believe. That one I remember it being decent. It was a decent show. So yeah, I'm looking for Canadian shows. Go for either of those two.
Or Corner Gas.
Oh yeah, but if we're going just strictly for like kids animation, those are the two I can think of.
I'm trying to think, is there a Canadian version of Frasier where Frasier's never good. But it's not bad. So it's good in its own right of being not bad all the time. It's consistent with its quality.
Oh, what is a extremely average Canadian television show? It's like, you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say The Littlest Hobo.
Whoa! Nope, I'm done. Bye, guys. I'm done. I'm going until you take that back.
I figure he enjoys that show, but most of the people I've met hate it.
It's like the greatest show ever.
It's Canadian Lassie to an extent.
It is possibly one of my favorite shows. It's
Yeah,
up there.
I have no clue because I've never watched an episode. I was kind of mitigating there because most of the people I've heard have just like despised that show.
I mean, it's probably because I watched my childhood on like even up to this point comprises of a lot of things from the like older generations.
Thanks, Speed Racer.
I never watched Speed Racer.
Oh,
even today I watch really, really old cartoons.
Yeah.
And
most of what I watched when I was a kid was like Dragon Ball, like the original Dragon Ball.
That's some things I should add. Anime shows I haven't watched: Dragon Ball, not animated Power Rangers, animated. We'll come to them.
Yeah, basically the entire nation of Japan is disappointed in Brendan at the moment.
I know. Actually, most people I talk to are disappointed in the fact I've never watched those.
Oh, come on. It's just Dragon Ball. It's not a big deal.
No, I never.
Anyway, so, in the annals of Canadian television, there's not too much to go off of for Canadians to be immensely proud of. There's generally quite a few collaborations we've had with the U.S. where you'll see at the end... Actually, I think the one American show, Johnny Test or whatever, for a while.
Johnny Test is Canadian.
Yeah, it at least for a while was definitely Canadian.
It still is Canadian.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not exactly sure on the details there, but yeah. So that's something Canadians can have as to whether you like that or not.
If you start talking about kids shows, I'll probably know them, like if they're still on air, because I'm one of those people.
Yeah, the kids shows are funny. Yeah, so Canada, we've got a lot of collabs with the U.S., but generally how you'll find that out is you'll like look at a show, and at the end it will say, funded partly by the government of Canada or the government of Ontario.
Or you're looking at these names of the credits, and it's like, which is my interpretation of what a French-sounding last name is.
Yes, we are very racist on this show. We have previously stated, and what is interesting is I am part French. I should probably be taking offense to that, but I'm not going to.
I'm related to the first king of France.
Of French's mustard. The king
I'm
of
related to the CEO of French's mustard.
The king of French's would be a pretty
cool
guy.
My dad can arrest you.
Yes, so we're actually both part French, so that
I'm really the first king of France. I'm not going to explain that relation. It's very long and confusing.
Maybe he was the one that kicked Yvonne's ass. No, he wouldn't be, because that was the first king, not one of the later Louis.
No.
Which Louis was it in Yvonne? It's got to be like Louis XIV, because that guy had his shit together. It was the other Louis that didn't have their shit together. I might be getting this wrong. Maybe Louis XIII was the one that had his shit together.
We've lost half our listeners, and what are you talking about? Who are these people? Whoa!
Well, all of the viewers in France and partly in Quebec, but let's not get those two two nations muddled up. I'm calling Quebec its own nation. What, you want to fight?
They're very different people.
Yeah.
Like the French, they're conservative. They're not conservative. Quebec's like, yo, don't change our language in an American accent.
Yeah. Yo, don't step on a turf. We'll come over there and kick your anglophony asses. Anyways.
If you're wondering, yes, we're doing the hands with that too.
Hey, you want me to bust your bollocks?
Bust your what ass cracker ass?
Okay. We're stopping now. We're taking control of this bag. So in general, now that we've gotten past the Canadian programming, which was rather underwhelming.
I think we've both watched Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh my... Okay, for those of you watching Corner Gas simultaneously while listening to this, stop watching Corner Gas and watch Courage the Cowardly Dog first. Then go immediately back to Corner Gas.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think that's the reason I'm not scared by a whole lot of horror games or horror movies. I'm not because that show, there was something wrong with that show for a kid's show.
Yes, I know everyone who is just listening to this thinks that they're so special and that, we made this episode especially for them. You're not special.
That show will ruin you.
Yeah, you're not special. My favorite line of any children's animated show. My God, That show was dark. That show had things dying all the time.
That show had some weird things going on. Like, I was reading on the wiki a while ago, and there was one character who kept wanting to cut Courage's hair, and which is the main character, by the way, if you haven't watched Courage the Cowardly Dog for some reason.
He was a dog named Courage.
And I was reading, never hit me, but that the character was supposed to be a pedophile, and that's what the haircutting thing was. It was supposed to represent him being a pedophile. And I'm like, that's horrifying.
Oh, like that one episode that was about lesbianism and abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's horrible. And you, like, as a kid, you don't realize it. Then you start reading it, and your whole childhood just kind of shifts, and you're like, whoa.
Courage was teaching me these lessons before I even knew what it was trying to say.
And then you're slightly mentally disturbed for the rest of your life, but you've gained some immunity to most horror things.
Yeah, you know what I think what I'm gonna have to do is recommend if you guys like if anyone wants an analysis of like Courage the Cowardly Dog or something like that, just go and watch The Mysterious Mr. Enter or like one of his reviews. He does a pretty bang up job of reviewing those kinds of things.
I don't know what it was about that show, but I've always been freaked out by it. I don't know if it's the art style but there's something wrong with it.
Oh, Courage, it's rather the art style that they use is like it is extremely deformed looking stuff, but there's always a sense of wrongness in the artwork to a degree. And then they have that stuff where they used sometimes they just drastically change the art style. Sometimes they use like real human figures sometimes, and sometimes they'd use like CG, and it was just
not right. There was something so disturbing about it.
Oh, like Uncanny Valley stuff and things like that. There's a sense of offness to it.
And then for people with the fear of being lost and not having anywhere to go, there's that added to the show.
Oh yeah, like
the whole house is literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, obviously, not obviously, but they say a lot of the times that it's a metaphor, and the dog's just afraid of strangers. But is that your favorite show, you'd say, from your childhood?
Oh, no, there's some other ones that I like more.
Courage is up there.
Courage is definitely, I can't say which one's my favorite, but Courage is up there, definitely.
Man, if I had to do a favorite, that'd be difficult. Probably Samurai Jack, though.
Samurai Jack's something I did watch, but I have, no recollection of at all. I can't really remember. I know the character, but other than that, I can't remember.
It was kind of like Frasier in that it never had a bad episode, but it was unlike Frasier in that the majority of those episodes were also good.
Yeah. You know what? I was, since I still watch children's shows, and even ones from my childhood still, I was watching another show which I watched, which was Johnny Bravo. If you don't know what that is, that's misogyny incarnated into a child show.
Okay. Those of you who are now watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, go! Watch Johnny Bravo. Then, finish Courage the Cowardly Dog, and then work on your backlog of corner gas.
Hold on, no. You just need to hear, the first 10 minutes of Johnny Bravo, and you'll say, yep, this is misogynistic. And, it's
I thought Johnny Bravo was like a parody of misogyny, though.
I don't know. It has that feel to it. And then I'm like, I totally don't remember how bad this show was like that.
There's literally an episode where he works out so much his, one arm explodes.
And there's the episode where, oh man, it's basically just him trying to court a whole bunch of random women.
But
so much wrong.
But he fails at it, so it's more like it's like a reverse. It's not reverse, but it's like a parody of the Macho Man thing.
Yeah.
Johnny's supposed to be like this the kind of cool dude that women are supposed to fall for, and of course he fails.
He really is literally what they say a cool dude is.
Yeah, he's the stereotype.
It's an interesting show, and I never really noticed anything wrong with it until recently. I'm like, oh.
If I was a more combative person, I would be thinking that Brennan's statements about it being possibly misogynistic, I would take offense to that, because I found Johnny Bravo to be quite the entertaining show, but...
It was entertaining. I will say that. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
There was... Then there's me and Liam. This actually may be our favorite show, Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, definitely. Dexter's Laboratory.
Now I'm just going to presume all of you have watched it.
Yeah, you need to have at least heard of it. And that is also by basically the same creator as Samurai Jack. I know there's differences in like production, direction, artwork, but yeah, Gendy Tartarovsky. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name correctly.
There's just something charming about that show. Like all of us were literally that smart kid. We were that smart kid, Liam.
Well, yeah, we both have glasses, Brendan, so
I
therefore
know.
we are.
And for a very long time,
We
I was
both
a very...
sounded exactly like an adult woman.
Oh, yeah. Like, I was a very small kid, too, for a very long time. Although, there was, like, this mid-period. Child, like, 10 years old, I'm pretty large for my age. Up to about, I don't know, 8th grade, I got dwarfed. I was just, oh, I'm not growing. Now, after, like, 8th grade, I'm massive.
Yeah, you don't know because you've never actually, met Brendan in person, most likely. But he still to this day gives off an air of smallness. Like he's equally, he might be taller than me actually.
Okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, we're testing this out. Okay. It's like
no, just barely.
Yeah, he's like maybe a little bit. There's just like tiny bit shorter than me, but he gives off this air of not taking up much space. And I get that because that's probably from a long time living as being small.
And you just, because if you do know your drama stuff, you know that everyone has these idiosyncrasies that gives off this vibe and this personality. And I grew up, and I was small for such a long time, I just developed those idiosyncrasies, and I have the idiosyncrasies of being a small person.
Supposedly I have a bear walk.
Yes, you do.
Which is pretty nice.
You have a lot of idiosyncrasies.
I like that.
We won't talk about them all.
Everyone has idiosyncrasies. It's just how it works.
I'm very... actually, someone is doing a character study of me, and I'm like, yeah, that's me exactly.
If you were to not have idiosyncrasies, then well, actually, it's probably impossible, because if you were to not have idiosyncrasies, then the very idiosyncrasy would be how average you are in absolutely everything you do.
Which would be very weird. But we were, that's one of my favorite shows, because there's just something, I've always liked that kind of technology, and the fantasy of having this technology, and I guess the modern day equivalent of it, if there is kids watching this, would be Johnny Test, is the closest thing I could probably relate it to.
Yeah, interestingly enough, except, the hero in Johnny Test is more of an everyman, I suppose, an every kid, a spazoid kind of character,
Yeah.
Whereas Dexter was just like the amount of unreality that they could put into Dexter's lab was very nice. Like the escapism of it was.
Yeah, and like there's just it's that factor. I like how we're practically reviewing TV shows now. It was just something like in Johnny Test, the character is also often the character who causes the problems, but in Dexter's Laboratory, it was his sister, which is actually the reverse of Johnny Test.
Yeah,
we've watched it.
Freaking Dee Dee.
But there's I'm going to save that thought for later. There's things about it that were clever. There was the things like the little short mini episodes they had inside the episodes. Like there was sometimes they just have looping clips as jokes, for like maybe a minute. And then there's a punchline to it, and it's great. It's good stuff. Another kid show I watched as a kid was Camp Lazlo, which no one here knows, apparently.
Yeah, I can't even attest to that. I knew of Camp Lazlo's existence, but I paid it no heed.
Camp Lazlo was also like that, where at the end credits they would have this random looping. It was a kid show I watched as a kid, too. It was very good. Because everything I watched as a kid was very good. That's basically what I'm going to say now.
Well, basically,
nostalgia.
Gold, but then that was like maybe not the golden age, but it was a good time.
It was a great time. People were pushing things past the censor, like yeah.
Yeah, I mean nowadays you don't have too much that's actually challenging kids to think too much outside the box.
The last show I think I saw like that may have been either Adventure Time with just the plot, which you have to think about.
Still going on, I guess, in Adventure Time, yeah.
Or The Legends of Avatar, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Camp Lazlo was a bunch of campers which were personified animals, and their animal kind of represented the characters they were. The main character. It was I think that show may have been Canadian. Maybe.
Maybe so. We've got good people here.
Because there was definitely a lot of Canadian animals going on in there. But it was a very interesting show, and they had the same kind of, we would use this clip for so long, and then add the punchline in. And it was interesting. Now, Liam, what do you want to say?
Oh, let's see, some good stuff. I guess I'd go with a classic. Like, interestingly enough, my frame of reference is kind of different from yours. Actually, it's probably just due to the household I grew up in, where I I think I just like, also there's like a year difference between us, a little bit, but additionally, it's just I pushed myself away from children's shows quite early on, really. But if I was gonna go with something, I have to go with the classic, like SpongeBob. SpongeBob was just great show. The great levity, and again, escapism is something that I look for a lot in
Okay, here's my
cartoons.
problem. I constantly tell people I don't like SpongeBob. But the thing is, it's because at a certain point they just lost, they ran out of ideas.
They lost Hillenburg. That was one of the creator of the show. They basically lost him
Yeah,
after the movie. The show took a nosedive.
I mean,
Uh,
it was sad, and that's why what I say I don't like SpongeBob. That's why I'm saying it. It's because at a certain point they ran out of ideas, and it would just kind of decline too much.
I find some of the best work of a modern cartoon, though, you will find in the early seasons of SpongeBob.
Yes.
Generally, back when the characters were like what they were. They were the established. They're what people remember the characters as. It's not like some of the newer stuff. You remember the characters the way they originally appeared, basically.
Yeah.
So that was some cool stuff back in the day.
I also watched a lot of SpongeBob. I should point that out, though. I do like it,
Mm.
but I can't stand. Like I probably overwatched it. Have you watched Legend of Avatar, Liam?
Oh, oh, oh. Watched Avatar, he says. Yes,
Okay,
I've
that's
watched
good.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, so good. So.
Oh my goodness. I'm not gonna like say it's the highest piece of drama I have seen, but in terms of what it did and how it pushed the boundaries of like kids television, this is a Nickelodeon show. Just so good. An actual engaging plot. And when's the last time you've actually
Had to think things through.
and look at that, Brendan's lifting weights
Yeah,
right
I
now.
just want to tell you, I do lift.
He's so buff. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
out of the two of us, he would destroy me. Anyways, basically, the fun thing with Avatar was that it had plot arcs. It had legitimate like arcs of storytelling.
And even in the filler episodes, there was plot arc, and it was thinking things out for yourself.
It was also the last show ever done by the voice acting legend known as Mako before his passing. So actually, the show went on after his death, where they got someone else to fill in his role. A very admirable replacement, I might add, but great. That was the last role of the great Mako. Really was Uncle Iroh. So.
And then there was it was a great show. It was wonderful. I loved it so much. That wasn't that, how many? I don't know how old that show is. When you asked me when something was and it was part of my childhood, I can't give you a correct estimate because for some reason in my mind it's all like happened in the past 5 years to me,
Mm.
except for like Dexter's Laboratory.
Well, it's like how Avatar is actually relatively recent in comparison. Legend of
Yeah.
Korra, which
I
just wrapped up recently, is actually pretty good.
haven't watched that.
Good show. Still pretty good show. It actually it pushes the boundaries of what an animated show can do on an American network quite a bit.
Yeah. There's one show which I want to. None of us probably watched as a kid, but I want to give it a mention. Uh, Animaniacs.
Oh, Animaniacs, yes, quite nice.
It was that time when Steven Spielberg was still working on kids' cartoons, and he was saying, "I'm going to push the limits of what I can do with the censors, and I'm going to see how far I can push this with getting."
Oh
away.
yeah, he stretched around quite a bit with Warner Brothers in that time. Yeah.
And like even some of the jokes in it are glorious. Like there was one episode where like one short they had because it's a episode with shorts in it. And there was one short where it's who painted the Sicilian
Oh, the Sistine Chapel.
Sistine Chapel? Who painted that?
Oh, art's not my strong suit. We should get my sister over
No,
here.
we're not getting her.
Yeah.
She's not in part of the podcast.
I know, we can't. This is such a highly secured room. There isn't even a door.
So secure. I can't remember who it is. But he's trying to paint it, but he keeps screwing up. And then the Animaniacs come in, they start messing around with him. And at the end, you just see this guy's shoes, and it's like, I like it. And it zooms, and it shows the painting, and it's E.T. and God reaching out about to poke fingers like that.
Yeah, and that's called Spielberg stroking his own ego to an extent.
And then he strokes it even more. But because the camera goes back, pans up, and it's Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
As the Pope, and it's great. And it's
but
so
it makes sense in context, and really Spielberg's able to do with his intellectual properties whatever he wants.
And just the I like it of it all is great.
Mm.
In another short they had where they were showing all the movies Warner Brothers made with just in the background, and they're escaping these characters. There's the main characters are like, let's drop a bomb, and they pull out Howard the Duck, which, if you don't know, don't Google that. I'm just saying this. You're going to Google it now, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry I mentioned it, but I had to.
Never.
And he says, let's drop a bomb, and they drop Howard the Duck onto the enemies. And it's funny because, A, it's not actually Steven Spielberg's movie, it was George Lucas.
Yeah.
And B, that movie is very bad. So bad.
Horrendously bad. Like, I don't even know. I know that the concept of Howard the Duck existed long before the movie, but I also know that why that concept exists to make a movie out of, and how could that movie not have been an absolute masterpiece if you were going to have the balls to make a movie based on that? But this is George Lucas. Oh yeah, well that probably will succeed. Yeah. I would have to assume they might have learned their lesson. But yeah, I mean, freaking George Lucas. He's always that guy that you know he should know better, but he doesn't.
Liam, can you name like 5 movies you watched as a kid besides like no.
5 movies, every single Land Before Time movie.
Oh, the original one. Such feels, so many tears.
Oh yes, Land Before Time. The Iron Giant is a masterpiece.
Such tears.
Now that's a masterpiece. That's a masterpiece of animation.
Yes, I'll point out that's probably one of my all-time favorite movies. Atlantis is one of mine, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
Not the second one, just the first one.
Ah.
That's a masterpiece, in my opinion, along with The Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, yeah.
Which has an interesting story behind it. It was originally going to be a serious movie based off the story of The Emperor's New Clothes, which is basically a Chinese story about how the Emperor is tricked into not wearing clothes and all that. It's an interesting story. Disney, I think it's Disney, had such a problem making it, like they couldn't get it right, that eventually they just turned in what they had into a comedy, and it turned out so well, and it was so good.
It was very good. I would definitely say that. It was spot on film.
Most people have watched Jurassic Park. Up to
childhood movies, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park was so good.
Oh yeah. Well, Jurassic Park is really good, in my opinion, just like specifically in my own view. But you know, there's critics out there who perhaps don't like it to that extent. I don't know whether it's just I'm uncritical or whether they're just dicks. But you know.
It's an interesting film. What's our time, Liam?
We're at the 34 mark.
34? Got it. We're just gonna. And there was what other things were great movies came out when I was a kid? Okay, I'm gonna say it. Don't hate me, bro. I like the first Star Wars Episode 1.
Why did I see that coming? Why did I? I was just thinking, what came out that was horrible in my childhood? And I was like, Star Wars Episode 3. Star Wars Episode 1, I'm not going to argue too much about that. I know most people... Most people have no problem with it. The Star Wars fans generally hate it.
It's because Jar Jar Binks, which I'm like, yes, he does interrupt the flow of the movie, and he is just kind of there because he was trying to make it more... Because Lucas was making it more kid-friendly. However, it's still a great movie. In
Oh,
my opinion.
I am very mixed on that. I didn't like Jar Jar Binks. Didn't like the CG that's just become outdated now. Obviously, um, even though for droids it was kind of necessary.
Yeah.
And I didn't like quite a bit of the narrative itself, but the core elements of it and just Darth Maul, the concept of Darth Maul was terrific in general.
Yes.
The man's got a crazy double-sided lightsaber. The fight scenes were terrifically done.
Like, I mean, I will accept it. Jar Jar Binks, not a good character. Did not like him. Although as a kid I liked him. I can't.
Kids like everything.
Yeah, well, maybe that's what it is. But otherwise, I still think it's a good movie. Besides Jar Jar Binks, I mean, I can't hate the CGI because it was just coming out at the time.
Yeah, and then Darth Maul was just his actor couldn't act, so they needed someone else to act for him.
Although, if you need a great example of early 2000s CGI, you should look at Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Pretty decent job. As for the second Star Wars Episode 2, kind of boring as hell. But Mace Windu. So
yeah, basically after the first part, there's so many plot holes in that.
Third part degenerated into this horrible mess. I don't even want to.
I don't want to touch it.
No. I would have rather had Mace Windu just end the Emperor there, so that we could have gone home.
Yeah, why church with this? New Star Wars movie coming out. I don't know how I feel about it. However, Jurassic World, I'm all for. I just dropped a coin. Ignore that.
I'm optimistic for both of those films. Dropping coins like you drop dice.
Yeah. If there's a video that's out, you'll notice I drop dice a lot. I don't know why. I just do.
We often don't find them for weeks at a time.
I'm really sure my dice are at the floor of my house.
Well, I suppose most of the time we find them right away. It's just the times that we don't find them right away that it becomes more memorable.
Yeah, basically. It's interesting. We are now okay. So what else was there? I'm trying to think of other cartoons I watched too.
I don't know. You ever watch Fairly Odd Parents? Must have at some point.
Of course I have. I still watch. That's a still ongoing show. I still watch it.
Yeah, I did not continue watching it. And I didn't continue watching it due to kid show paranoia. Didn't want to be associated with children's shows, but then apparently there are legitimate gripes about the show now that people have, but I didn't stay with the show long enough to have legitimate gripes about it.
I never watched early Simpsons when it was first being made. Liam, do not comment anymore. Liam, I see your face. No.
Wait, what about the Simpsons?
I never watched the early Simpsons.
Early Simpsons
when they were coming out.
Early Simpsons is pretty good. But mid '90s Simpsons is insanely good as well. Because remember, the Simpsons has outlived us definitely. It hasn't outlived us because we're not dead yet, but it has lived longer than us, and it might outlive us.
Probably not.
It's quite unlikely, but I'm not at the point where I can imagine it ending. So when it ends, it will come as a shock.
Also, I should point out I am one of the people who like the current still like Simpsons, even the new episodes, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Yes, I know.
Because Liam will start yelling at me about it.
Oh my gosh!
When I screw up Irish.
Don't pretend that we're so argumentative about these things. We've come to an understanding on The Simpsons.
Yes, we did. But he still slaps me whenever I mess up and call haggis Irish.
That's a legit. That could offend an entire group of people.
I'm sorry, Liam.
All of our Scottish fans now are so pissed off.
Our Scottish scrub-scribers.
Yes, our scrub-scribers. Yes, definitely. All of you lot, you know who we're talking to.
Yeah. But I still watch it. Well, I stopped watching it not too long. The Fairly Odd Parents. I never watched The Simpsons when it came out because I don't know.
Yeah, because Simpsons.
I've never watched Futurama. I think I'm going to watch it one time. I think Liam said he's going to make me.
As local Futurama expert in this area, Futurama is a good show. We all know it's a good show, but it's not so much a children's cartoon as just an animated show that I believe it was Matt Groening himself decided to make it.
Groening. Graining?
We
Is it?
we
I don't
call
know.
it graining.
Okay, we'll call it graining.
Anyway, so he decided to do that. If you don't know what Futurama is, why the hell are you even on the internet right now? Especially wasting your time on this when you could be watching Futurama.
Okay. For you, those of you who are still watching, Samurai Jack, Courage the Cowardly Dog, or Corner Gas people, keep watching it. Everyone else, if you haven't watched Futurama, I think we just said,
Yes.
go watch it.
You
Watch
get out of your Courage the Cowardly Dog, get out of everything else you're watching, and just go watch Futurama right now. Brendan's doing it as we speak.
Wait, before you do that, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe first, and then we will allow you to leave.
Yep, then you can go, okay?
Yeah, so Futurama, for many people, it's a counterpart to The Simpsons. Oftentimes they watch them together. I mean, there was a crossover, rather interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
But then for other people, they find it as their substitute for The Simpsons, and other people, find Futurama repulsive and would rather stick with The Simpsons. So we've got whole camps of people there who are just, whether they go with Groening's earlier series, his newer series of Futurama, which cannot stop being canceled, or, whether there's fans of both.
I don't like Family Guy.
Yeah, well, we won't add the Family Guy into that equation.
No, we're not. I'm just going to say it as separate. I haven't watched Family Guy. I don't plan to. I don't really like Family Guy's concept.
Yeah,
Sucky Simpsons.
Brendan is repulsed by the very concept of Family Guy. I will admit to having watched Family Guy quite a bit, though I will also say I probably shouldn't be. I take moral issue with some of the things that show has done.
Yes.
Over the years.
South Park haven't watched.
South Park's brilliant. I know it's hypocritical to like South Park, but I'm not saying I don't like I don't like Family Guy sometimes, but I'm saying I should hate it more than I do because it's a morally objectionable show. Like I said it sometimes. I mean, once you've given a baby herpes, what more can you do? But yeah, South Park. I know that sounds a bit weird, but I'm a fan of South Park. Though it's definitely had its ups and downs in recent years. Oh.
Sorry, I'm stuck on the metaphor. Once you've given a baby herpes, what can you do? What the hell do you do with babies, Liam? I want to know.
Well, I don't mimic what Seth MacFarlane does, which is give babies herpes.
Okay, I'm not going to question that.
Give a dog herpes and then get him to give a baby herpes is what Seth MacFarlane and his friends have done on Family Guy. His friends, I of course mean his paid writing staff, who not all are friends with him. I just use that term very weirdly. Yes, you should be recoiling in terror.
Oh, I mean, a lot of things I'm like, sure, why not? That's just...
To be fair, South Park gave 2 8-year-olds AIDS, but...
How?
Or I don't remember how grades work, but that was because those were Cartman and Kyle. Those were, Cartman was depicted as clearly being in the wrong, and in the end he was punished by his Xbox being smote off the face of the earth. So that was basically, they backed it up by having decent standards behind it, with the villain being punished and things such as that. And in the end, the problem was resolved by Magic Johnson injecting people with his money. Oh, I should have said spoilers. God damn it, now we're losing subscribers.
We're not going to edit a spoiler warning in.
Anyways, season 7 to season 11 or 12 of South Park is pure gold. Not even season 7, season 5, as early as season 5, just gold. Season 1 through 3, I kind of avoid. Season 4 was decent, and then pure gold at that point. Just so good. Such a good show.
Although I commemorate them for making fun of PewDiePie, because as I said, I don't like PewDiePie.
Yeah, they made fun of PewDiePie, but then additionally, they had PewDiePie end the conflict. So, as to whether they secretly hate PewDiePie and were just using that as a way to mock him, but then be like, oh, we're cool with PewDiePie, or whether they legitimately like him. I think they're more like the kind of indifference thing, where it's like, we respect PewDiePie for what he's doing, so we're giving him a cameo because he's popular.
Maybe. I don't know.
But as for PewDiePie, I think he handled himself relatively well for that cameo, and he didn't make a big deal of it. So, again, I have nothing against PewDiePie. He's just not my style of YouTuber.
Hey, writers of South Park, if you want to, subscribe and make an episode about us, yeah.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone, if you hear this, that means that we've probably gotten way further than we actually had believed was possible, and someone has actually sent you a message about our existence.
Which is interesting, since this is like the third recorded episode.
Yeah, we must be insanely popular by now. So yeah, why not?
Turn off your volume if you want your immersion if you don't want your immersion broken.
Yeah, so
I'm going to give you time. 3, 2, 1. Your volume is off. I was going to say, oh yeah, this is like, has the first video even finished uploading yet?
Oh,
no, it hasn't.
No. Oh yeah, I guess not. No. So yeah, what are we gonna do? Yeah, so all of you guys,
who still didn't put your volume down.
Yeah, I don't know why you need, like, I'll be honest, I don't think that immersion is entirely necessary at this moment, but I just thought of something that's a bit weird. How are we going to, this is a podcast, how are we going to signal the people?
I was just thinking that. How are we going to tell people to turn the volume back up?
How are we going to signal those people to turn their volume back up?
Maybe we'll put a jump scare in?
How does that work?
I don't know.
How does that work? Anyone, if you know those people who just lowered the volume,
tell them to turn it back up.
Yeah, call them. Call them.
Yeah, call them.
You all know each other.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Every single random person looking at this video.
Or if we only have the people who actually bother to talk to me on Twitter, you just tweet
Oh, I know.
each other.
Maybe we could like put an image in there to scare them.
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe. I like how we're ranting at this point.
It's
Oh,
it's the rant alarm! It's the rant alarm!
Oh no, Ohio's gonna get us!
Oh, god damn it.
Ohio's on nuclear meltdown in Ohio again.
Ohio gozaimasu!
Viva la Hawaii!
Okay.
Viva
We were talking about television. We were talking about controversial topics. Yes, we were. I like American Dad. American Dad's a good show. So is Bob's Burgers. Both are good.
I have not watched American Dad. I do not plan on watching. You know what? Screw controversial shows. We're back to kids shows. Looney Tunes. The original ones.
Good stuff. That's all I can say. They did what a cartoon is. They basically codified what a cartoon is supposed to do.
And one of the early episodes was the most depressing kids show I've ever seen. Porky the Pig. He's sad. He's depressed. He tries to commit suicide and by hanging himself off a tree branch, and he's too fat, and the branch breaks. And you're like, no, why? Why is this a thing? Please, no.
What kind God would do this?
This is a beloved fictional character. Why are you doing this?
That reminds me of Tom and Jerry kill themselves. Oh.
I wasn't informed of this.
Oh, then they sit on some train tracks and wait for sweet death to come and kill them.
Oh my god, I wasn't informed of this.
Yes, it's a cartoon, but you do not do that with your characters. Just because normally they'd survive getting hit by a train because they're cartoon characters, you do not put them in that realistic situation where they are literally waiting to die. That is fucked up. And people don't... I am moving my finger down in an angered fashion.
We are both doing that.
Yes, you don't do that. You don't do that, show creators. You don't give a babies herpes.
That's
You don't
horrible.
give a babies. You don't give a babies.
You don't get sweet baby Jesus and put him in a hot dog blender either,
No.
Mr. Breach.
Yeah, we are angry at El Chess Preach. We're going
And when we say we're angry, we really are just laughing at it in the inside.
Yes. I am putting both my fingers down now.
I am typing.
I am bird pecking a keyboard.
Oh yes. You are so sad that you can't see this, trust me.
This used to be about an actual topic.
Now it's just us doing things you can't see.
So anyways, I guess, shows that I would like to catch up on. I heard Rick and Morty was actually a decent show.
Oh, Rick and Morty. I haven't watched any of it, but I do know that it's the kind of show I like, which is fourth wall breaking to the max. Have you heard of My Gym Partner's a Monkey?
Yes.
Oh, the fourth wall.
Oh.
It is not in that show anymore. When that show...
They literally broke it and tried to kill me.
That's
why that show's not around anymore.
My gym partner's a monkey is the possibly first few seasons. Yeah, it's okay. It's not. It's actually a really good show. I watched it a lot. It didn't break the fourth wall. Then it started decaying, in like the fourth wall just started crumbling for no reason. And about, I don't know, but at one point they made a joke about renewing the season to one of the characters in the show, and it's like the fourth wall was dead. They killed him.
We need to make a joke creepypasta now that's just like about some kid watching that show and like eventually the fourth wall just degrading and then like he gets fucking killed, but it's just funny because you know what they're actually referring to. So as much fourth wall breaking as I don't know really to describe. I have an idea of a show that's kind of like that. But I'll save that for an anime rant at some later date.
When I start watching more anime?
Yeah, maybe I'll just like take an entire hour to myself and just, you guys are going to become weeaboos now.
Oh. Or maybe I'll just join you with my cot. You know what? No, that's when we go to PAX at our what was it? 200,000.
Yes, at
200,000 subscriber.
That's right. Get on it. Look at this. Look at it!
I know, you're a weeaboo.
Yes, my body pillow is stiff now.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Filthy Frank. I steal jokes from everyone. It's just
yes,
something
we
I
all
do.
steal jokes, except I steal jokes mainly from El Chest Reach.
We have small reference pools, very small reference pools.
The most references you'll get is probably El Chest Reach. Maybe a little bit of Northern Lion.
Maybe some Illuminati things again.
Because
by the way, this is episode 3. Do you know it has 3 points on it, a triangle? Do you know that there's one triangle in the Illuminati? Illuminati confirmed.
Oh, yep, there we go. We got that out of the way. You don't have to comment that in the comments anymore.
Alternatively, the little stop button thing is orange. This is episode 3. Orange is also the color of Half-Life, therefore Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Hey, Liam. You realize they can't see the stop button.
Oh, I'm aware, but I'm assuming that they have the program. I'm being a Windows elitist, like a Windows 8 elitist.
You know what? No. Even though I don't use one, I'm putting my foot down and saying we're using Linux next. I don't use a Linux.
I'd be perfectly fine with that. Linux, I've only heard good things.
I don't like Mac. I don't know what it is.
Too hipster to use a Mac.
Yeah, I'm way too hipster to be hipster.
Yeah, and I use my pack of tarot cards for all the questions I need.
We're derailing this. This is now the tarot card reading session, where Liam reads me my fortune.
Oh, God. The cards. Get out! Get out! Okay, let's shuffle the deck.
Anyways, guys.
Major Arcana, Minor Arcana. Major Arcana, Minor Arcana.
That was Liam's wonderful singing, I guess.
Kill the pig, slit the throat, drink the blood.
That's your daily literature reference.
Yes, insert 1984 Big Brother reference.
Are we just doing George Orwell references?
Oh yeah, well, the first one was a William Golding reference.
Well, yes, that is true. That's Lord of the Flies you were referencing.
Okay,
You can tell the Canadian...
There you go. Ace of Swords. Make of that what you will. Have some pentacles, too.
Ooh, I will become the Pentacle King.
Have some more pentacles.
I am going to become the Pentacle King.
This is not real, by the way, people. This is literally just me throwing pentacles at him with no meaning.
Are you finding the pentacles?
I didn't even shuffle the deck.
Go shuffle the deck and do it for real. The people who watch this aren't watching it. They're listening to it. Expect more of this.
I'm sorry, people. They can tell. They can tell. Without even seeing, they can see that I'm a hack.
Yes, they can all see we're fat, naked men recording in front of a computer.
Yes. Yeah.
We're very naked.
We're both naked? What the hell?
Yes, we're very naked.
I thought,
we secretly live in a nudist community.
I thought we had, I thought we both, yeah, okay, well, yeah.
I'm going to entertain you with bad accents. This is my Jamaican accent. Hey, Mon, you want a blind correct?
This is when you make an episode, but don't actually have enough content to fill your normal time, and you're such sticklers for the rules. That's right, I'm using the word stickler. I enjoy that. It's like when I used buy gum a few days ago. Anyways, actually just a day ago.
Pinch a loaf?
Yeah, like when you literally do not have enough to say, but you're like, no, darn it, we're going to be near our normal time.
We need to do an hour of content, or an hour and 2 minutes of content.
By gum, we registered for this.
Yes, I verified my account.
Yeah, as you can, yeah, so basically that's just what we're doing at the moment. Shuffling cards.
And so I'm gonna do, this is my Russian accent. I can't remember how to, here's my German accent. Well, so far I'm doing good. I got
Beginning of the journey. Very nice. So, yes, that one would represent you. This one is crowning you.
That sounds good for a director.
This is the one you are standing upon, obviously.
Yes.
Yes, then we have this one. Yes, that one is behind you. That is what is in front of you.
Oh, okay.
Make of that what you will. I'm terrible at divination.
I'm dead?
No, not at all, not at all.
Oh, that's hard work?
Yes. What do you mean? Like, yeah, that's labor. The fool, the beginning of the journey. Let's see. Then we have, this represents, that would make sense. That kind of represents your current life at the moment.
Being kind of alone and...
A wise hermit. Yes, and you can see there, like, we have justice. That being your future is pretty interesting. You know, justice.
Does that mean I've become, like, civilian justice where I just start going up to women after, they hit my car? I'm like, bitch, get out of that car, I'm gonna kill you.
Why not? But look at the Wheel of Fortune. Apparently you've been a fortunate man up until this point.
I mean, that's good.
And you got justice. May your future become balanced. Oh, Binding of Isaac reference. Oh.
Ooh. What is Page of Wands?
Oh, Page of Wands.
Does that mean
it's basically the equivalent of a jack. You like they all have meanings, but I have yet to interpret every single one of them because I've been slacking on my tarot readings.
Really, me, Liam?
Hey! Who else do you have for divination? I don't have my runes with me.
That's true. You are the only one in the group.
I don't got my Taoist divination cards with me. I don't have the little red book that tells the truth.
This one?
I wish.
No? Okay.
Just never buy a Pomo tarot deck, people. If anything, just remember that. It tries to modernize tarot decks, and it's a disgusting idea.
Liam will now do some accents.
In Dublin's fair city, where the girls are so pretty... I just ripped off Jacksepticeye. I'm terrible. I feel bad about myself.
Now we're just stealing jokes from other people. I'm going to do my German accent. Yes. Heil Hitler, no. Yes.
Why are you an Englishman with, like, a slightly German drawl? Heil Hitler. That's your subconscious racism coming out again. Well, as I recall, I did attempt to do a Scottish before, and what's odd is that, like, I remember, I know this one English person who was like, yeah, that's very accurate, and I'm like, no, it's not. You're just being a jerk because you're arguing with the Scottish, because a referendum's coming up. I have. First off, everyone, drop what you're doing. Drop all those shows that you're watching. Look up Robert Burns, and then you will know what I say when I'm saying I have a poster of Robert Burns in the corner of my room.
Now, what you need to look up is...
Scotch whiskey,
C. Montgomery Burns.
Let all the queen...
You're doing it right now. Excellent.
Oh, God. Montgomery Burns. Yay.
What time are we, Liam?
Oh, we are almost at 59 minutes,
oh my gosh, we're doing it. We're almost there.
We padded it out for like an entire 15 minutes.
If you're still here, I'm coloredly impressed. By the way, if you haven't subscribed, by the way, you should do it now. And then spread the word that we are a thing.
Yeah, leave a comment. Tell us to stay on focus instead of going off on these wild tangents.
I'm also very surprised at the results from our last podcast where I asked you what the capital of Canada is.
Keep it vague, keep it vague, keep it vague, keep it vague, keep it vague!
I'm keeping it vague, Liam. I'm keeping it vague.
Okay, so all you people, keep it vague as well. And,
Mostly we're saying that because I totally, if you're one of the people who don't like the immersion broken, just turn off the rest of the episode after you subscribe, like, and leave a comment.
yes.
I still don't think the last episode is done uploading.
No, it doesn't sound like it is.
I don't think our first episode's done.
No, is it even done uploading? Jesus, like, I would be overjoyed to see, like, we got 10 views. That would be a huge.
That would be a huge view, but I doubt it.
Yeah. So, anyways, all of you, stay vague, and we will.
Follow me on Twitter at Maxwell A Snow.
What he said. Goodbye.
Okay, so post-production note, we totally forgot someone super important while recording this originally. We totally forgot about the company that was formerly known as Matrix? Mainframe, sorry.
I swear you have now dishonored Canadian television.
Sorry, I know them as Rainmaker.
Yes, they're very, very central to Canadian television, including children's programming.
Actually, mostly they do children's programming.
Mostly children's programming. But
no, actually only children's programming.
Yep, basically entirely children's programming. But, Canadian television doesn't have much to offer, so you take what you can get.
Yeah, they are super... They're not well known for things like, one of the things I actually watched they did when I was a kid was Hot Wheels Acceleracers, which I was like, this is pretty good. I never became a car person.
The fuck's a car?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, to get an idea of how important Mainframe was back in the day, they created the first 30-minute long, entirely CG television show. And by that I mean 30-minute episodes. But yeah, entirely computer-generated graphics. That was a first for a television show.
And if you go... A while back I went to America and they still had the episodes on, and I'm like, good work, America. Good work.
Yeah, so Mainframe was pretty important. They made Reboot, which I watched the hell of as a kid, despite it actually being kind of behind my time. But my brother really enjoyed it when he was a younger kid and continued to like it, and that's how I got exposed to it. It was a pretty decent show.
I never really remembered it. My first exposure really was in America, which is funny, because it's completely Canadian.
Yeah, Reboot was a bit, it was before even my time. But, it should have been at least, but it was still airing on television.
So some of the other interesting things that Rainmaker had done were shows like this was a canceled series. It was the Aliens TV series, which I can't remember. I believe there was the action figures that went to complement it, that with alien figures that were never actually used in the movies.
Huh.
Which is... there were animal crossbreed ones.
Who would make, I thought we were saying they were like a kid's...
I was about to, but I'm not sure. I think maybe because that's a majority of what they were kid shows.
Yeah, because the Alien is kind of a violent property to be selling children on. I mean, yeah.
They were action figures, so,
Ripley is going to rip this motherfucker a new one.
Yeah.
That's the only time humans get to do anything in the Alien franchise, is when Ripley is ripping something a new one.
Yeah. Good times. That's a great movie series. So, we recommend that you, because we can't bother to remember all these shows, except I do have some saved.
Yeah, look the thing up. Oh, but, Shadow Raiders was something my brother really liked, apparently. Was one that they did. But if you go and check out Reboot, the animation is quite dated now. It's disgustingly
it's horrifying.
Outdated. It's atrocious, but, the show was really good for what it was. And it was a really solid kids show, and we do... Oh, Beast Wars. We'll need to bring up Beast Wars.
Beast Wars is... I had no clue. Beast Wars is very important to me. I actually brought Unicron today. I was going to bring Astro Train. Beast Wars is the spin-off Transformers series that had some actually really cool figures to go with it. That the characters themselves were the Transformers would transform into animals instead of actual cars or something. It was there wasn't the actual characters, but they went by the same name. I'm not going to explain the whole plot arc and everything to that.
Yes. Rather than being a series made in Japan, or a horrible series made in the United States, or, a decent series made in the United States, I don't know American Transformers. Regardless, This was a Canadian show. Mainframe worked on it as well. Well, that's obviously the topic of the episode. But Beast Wars was probably the one Transformers series I watched the most.
Yeah, I was. I had no clue they had done this movie, but a while back on it while watching a kids' cartoon, put your weeboo stuff away. Don't try to bless God with weeboo stuff. You can't convert me yet. Don't watch that much anime, but I was watching a kids channel, and they were playing a movie which I was dying because it was so horrible. It was and the movie was called The Nutty Professor. I'm like, and then Liam yesterday sends me this link to a bunch of things they made, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh no, they've fallen so hard from my childhood.
The Nutty Professor, what the heck? Like the
It's-
freaking... I know what the Nutty Professor is. I've seen it. It's disgusting. But
so horrible.
especially since there's like an original version, and any of our French fans are just like, oh, Jerry Lewis, yes. Because he was in that movie.
Yeah.
But obviously they aren't, because I think most contemporary French people don't give a damn who Jerry Lewis is. But I could be wrong. He could still have like a huge fan base there.
Another problem with that movie was they gave it's a black African American actor. What's his name? They gave a very famous African American actor, I can't remember the name of because I suck at names, a white character's role, which makes no sense.
Yes. So wait, what was their part in that?
They
whole
were
movie?
they were the professor.
Oh.
Yeah, just take it in. The white dorky professor, played by a very stereotypical macho black
Oh no,
man.
yeah, I know the actor. No, I was saying, what does this have to do with our current topic that we were on?
That's just how I'm talking. It's the main characters from the show. That's how far they've fallen. For some reason, they're getting this guy, giving him a horrible role that doesn't make any sense. Why? Who did this?
Who
did this?
Okay. Can we need to salvage the topic somehow?
Another thing they did.
Watch Reboot.
Yes, watch Reboot. Another thing they did was that if we have female fans, which I doubt for some reason. Is any of the Barbie movies that have come out recently?
Yeah, if you watch those, I mean, the quality of person you are, unless you're a very small child listening to this.
Which I'd be very surprised. I don't know that many small children.
Consider, like, I don't even know if people watch this thing. I don't. Do people watch this thing, Brendan?
Well, let's see. The average play-time for these episodes are 3.3 minutes.
Which is damn good. Damn fine.
Yeah,
damn
especially
fine.
when most of our content's an hour long.
Yes, damn fine work, Brendan. Good job. Anyways, I cannot stress... I'd like to get into cultural... we cannot stress how important freaking Reboot is, in my opinion. And Mainframe in general is in the... just Canadian created things in general. This stuff aired in the United States. That's how important it is.
That doesn't happen usually.
Yeah, not with Canadian stuff. And like, there are very few times you get Canadian shows that you can even speak of. So yeah, that was good. It was a good time for Canadian animation studios that Mainframe was doing, and it has not been repeated really in terms of Canadian success. We've had some decent animated stuff come out of Canada.
Yeah.
But it's not like we're dominating the industry.
No, it's kind of sad that we aren't dominating that industry anymore, because it does crush a lot of people's careers in animation.
So yeah, that was just kind of a thing that was lacking in the video. We had to tack this on because, my God, how could we have not mentioned Mainframe at all?
Mainframe or Rainmaker.
Or Rainmaker, as the Rainmaker now. We wish them the best in their future endeavors. And yeah, go check out Reboot. Do it. Or Beast Wars.
Wait, or Beast Wars, or Futurama, I think we said.
What?
Or Quarter Gas.
Oh, right, yeah, all those other shows, yeah. Or Courage the Cowardly Dog.
I feel like we're missing one. Hold on.
Let's go through, let's listen to this.
Okay. There was one before we mentioned.
Okay. Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Totally. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that one. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, this is the true end of the episode.
Yeah, we'll see you guys, or rather, we'll look at your comments after you listening to us without any pictures.
Because we couldn't figure out
show.
what to put as a picture because we can't take pictures off shows because that's copyright.
Woo! Anyways, we'll be you guys will be commenting. I'm sure you will. You'll talk to us, right? You'll talk to us.
Please, someone talk to us. We're so lonely.
So, anyways, yeah. Like, subscribe, dislike. Maybe we wasted your time. You know, that's perfectly reasonable. You can unsubscribe. You know what? I don't fucking care anymore. You people can just leave. You don't support me? That's fine. I'm done with this shit.
We haven't monetized you or anything yet. Ugh.
Oh my god, just whatever. Fucking see you later, asshole.